with healing facilitation. I call it healing facilitation rather than healing, because I'm not doing any healing. It's, as you say, it's just, I'm just channeling energy without putting anything on it. Just become a pure channel. But it's also the belief of the person who's on the table, just how much they believe in Reiki. So it comes back to faith,
Exactly.
having faith that this universal love energy will heal them in such a way. But the real healer is the one on the table. They're healing themselves, and they're healing themselves with their intention. Bit of that as well.
Hello, beautiful souls. I'm your host, Maria Paz Universe, and welcome to What the Soul Wants, a place created from and for the soul to explore, expand, and experience life on Earth. Hello, welcome to the second episode of What the Soul Wants. I'm your host, Maria Paz Universe, and this episode really makes me very happy because I'm gonna interview a person that is very close to my heart. His name is Jhon, and he's not only my Reiki mentor, but he's also a dear friend. So today's episode is about Reiki and energy healing in general. He's gonna discuss how Reiki came into his life and how is it and what is Reiki for him. But first, I want to introduce you what is Reiki for me and how was my journey with energy healing. I think with Reiki started back in last year before I moved to Cairns. I was living in Gold Coast and I met a beautiful person. She is Peruvian too, and she told me she was giving a course in Reiki. So I was not very sure about it, so I really didn't do it. And soon after that, I moved to Cairns, and when I was in Cairns, I looked for a spiritual center or just a spiritual community because I feel and I believe it's very important to have a good support system and also to have like-minded people close to you. I found the spiritual center, which is a beautiful center where people join and people go there, and you can find different type of talented people. They do Reiki, or they do energy healings, readings, channelings, meditation workshops. So it's a very beautiful place where you can just feel yourself and meet new people. So I went there the first week I was in Cairns, probably one of the I remember as soon as I got there, I saw Jhon and he was in the counter. We were chatting a little bit and then he told me, "You are a healer." And I told him, "Sorry, I think you confused me with someone else, but I'm not a healer. I have never healed anyone. I have just only healed myself." Well, he gave me his card and told me, "All right, that's all right. When you're ready, just contact me." Just like minutes after that, I went for a reading and someone was reading to me. So I forgot about the situation and everything. I came another time for another reading, and there was this man reading to me the tarot, and he told me, "You're a healer." And I told him, "Sorry, I don't know what you mean. I'm not a healer. I just heal myself, but that's everything I know, and I don't know anything about healing." And he told me, "Okay, that's all right." And all the cards were talking about healing because I could see, because he have another deck that was, the word was in there, and all the words were healing or medicine or plant medicine and all this stuff. And then he told me, "Just when you're ready, remember that yoga will help you a lot." And I was like, "Yeah, okay." I think weeks after that, or I think a month after that, I was working full time and I was working in 2 jobs and I was completely crushed. My body was completely stressed and in a very bad state. And I contact Jhon for a Reiki session, okay? I was a little bit hesitating about it because I have never undergo any healing. The only healing I have I have done have been with myself and with my guides, and everything that I have learned through healing have been through these other realms that we cannot see. So when I have contact my guides in my meditations, they have taught me how to heal myself. And sometimes I will undergo a healing and I will see them coming and healing some parts of my body. But healing is a process, okay? But it's a lot of bodies. Like I told you, we have 4 bodies and we have to heal through our 4 bodies. So they taught me all this stuff and how to manage this type of energy, but I never asked them, what is this? Okay, I always guided by my intuition or guided by my guides, but I never questioned what is this. So when I went into Reiki, I was a little bit hesitating because I have never, like I said, done this in the physical realms. But I really trust Jhon. Like, as soon as I met him, I remember I felt like he was my soul family. We instantly started talking very fluently, like we met from different lifetimes. So I really felt a very good energy with him. It gave me a little bit more of confidence to go into these type of healings. When I was there, I remember 10 minutes in the healing, I completely connect with my higher self. When I do this, I can access my other lifetimes, and how you call it is you call it the Akashic records. I never put in a name to it specifically, so I think you call it the Akashic records. So I was into my 10 minutes into the healing, and 10 minutes into it, I access my Akashic records for my higher self. When I do that, I can access not only my guides, but I can access other lifetimes. I access another life. I saw myself as a healer, but I didn't have hands. So I started crying, and I was acting like I was in that moment. I told Jhon I don't have hands because I was crying. He was asking me what's wrong. And I told him I don't have hands. And that went back into that lifetime. And I have a lot of trauma and a lot of things that happened to me in that lifetime regarding my healings, and that's why I feel I was always hesitating to be a healer or always to explore that part of myself, because I have that past life trauma. So I cleared that, and Jhon helped me to activate chakras that were in my hands. He did it, I think, unconsciously or consciously, but after that I could feel my hands different, and I will see my hands as new. It was one of the most beautiful experiences I have in all these spiritual realms that I have experienced. That one was one of the most beautiful that I ever had. After that, I feel I completely changed my perception of healing, who a healer is and what healing is, and the power of our hands. After that, of course, I wanted to learn Reiki, so I went into this course with him, and he's an incredible Reiki master. He's also an incredible teacher. He's so patient, and he don't only teach you the basics of Reiki, but he taught me how to be unconditional love through this. And he also taught me that this is not something that comes from us. We are channelers. I kind of forgot about it because, sometimes when the ego is not ready to leave a part of you behind, he wants to stick to it. And that's why I talked to him in the interview about it. Like, when you're a healer, you need to leave behind a lot of your ego and just surrender to the energy and be acknowledged that the energy is coming through you. It's not you. And also because if you think it's you, you will drain yourself. It's so magical, this process of Reiki and energy healing in general. I have done it for myself and for my boyfriend, and I will say energy healing is something that we all can create and we can all attune to and we can all learn. It's something available. It's part of us. It's our birthright to heal ourselves through energy. And I will tell you that being a healer is just being yourself. We all have the opportunity to heal ourselves through our emotions and through energy. And energy is always coming to us. We just need to allow it. And the energy that will heal you is unconditional love, because love is the most powerful energy in this universe. So that will be everything. And I will let you hear that interview with Jhon. He's an incredible person, and I hope if you are in Cairns, you can contact him. That will be everything, and I hope you like it. See you next time. Thank you. Welcome, Jhon, to my podcast and to this podcast, What the Soul Wants.
Thank
And
you.
well, I'm very honored to have you as my first guest. I was one of my list of people that I want to interview or like talk about all these things of spirituality and what the soul wants. You were one of the list, of course, and thank you so much for this. And so let's start it.
Okay.
And I want to ask you if you can introduce yourself and who you are and what you do and what is Reiki for you and everything.
Oh, okay. Well, my name is Jhon, and I've been a Reiki Master for since 2003, and found that it's enriched my life to the degree that it's helped me heal, not only physically but emotionally, and I can teach this gift to others. So that's important to me. I have a real passion for it. It's the channeling of universal love energy. So I believe it's love, or the reflection of love, in and that helps balance and stir up sometimes emotions that need to be stirred up so they can come to the surface. Reiki also relieves pain and brings peace to the mind. There's nothing Reiki can't do, as far as I'm concerned. I've even got it to start my car, and it wasn't starting. So yeah, it's really unbelievable. And I always thought it was the tip of the iceberg as far as endeavouring to go on a spiritual path. It leads to many other things, and there's many parts to universal energy or love energy, as you know. Love is the only true emotion. It's what's real in this world, and Reiki supports that.
Wow, thank you Jhon, for that. So I'm wondering how Reiki came into your life.
Well, it's really interesting looking back. Um, I lost my father back in 1984, and Mum remarried after 3 years. And the guy she married mentioned to me once that he had this healing from somebody where he felt energy traveling up and down his legs just from her hands. So this was back in probably the 90s, and I'd never heard of Reiki, to tell you the truth, back then. And I said, "Oh yeah, that's interesting." And later on, when I was introduced to my Reiki master from a person at work back in 2001, I think it was, or 2001. She says, "You've got to see this woman. She actually channels energy." So I said, "What do you mean?" She says, come along and find out." So I did. And that's how it all started for me, about 2001.
So you were in the spiritual path before Reiki came into your life, or it started with Reiki?
I think we're all on a spiritual path, because we're all spirits having a physical experience. So to me, there's no right or wrong in those experiences. It's just experience. And the if you experience darkness, it only helps you recognize the light. But I do know from my numerology that I was in an 11 vibration, which is a spiritual vibration, for 54 years. it was always knocking on the door, but I was always busy living a physical life, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, we all
And
got caught on that.
yeah, but it's really gratifying to see that younger and younger people are grabbing onto what I grabbed onto when I was about 50,
Yeah.
like people like yourself.
Yeah.
It's you've been born with extra strands of DNA activated. Did you know about the DNA?
Yeah, I was
Yeah.
reading a
Oh,
little bit. I told you that I'm reading now Barbara Marciniak
that's right.
and her
The
books of
Palladians.
Pleiadians channelings, and
Yeah.
yeah, they I have been on my bed having multiple spiritual awakenings and like
Mm.
DNA arrangements. I
Yes,
feel like after reading the book, so it's very
you
fun.
can do that with just pure intention. You just say, I want all my extra strands of DNA to activate, and they will start to activate.
That's powerful.
It's powerful, but it's that simple.
Yeah, and I think it's very important to
Yes.
know this information so we can
Mm.
intentionally activate it. Yeah, it's true.
Yeah. And you can also eliminate your karma in the same way by pure intention.
That's
So
that's
you know,
true.
all this knowledge has come to me because I started Reiki, but it's sort of like the tip of the iceberg for me, and continues to enrich my life.
Wow. Yeah. I mean, this podcast is called What the Soul Wants. I was trying to describe what the soul wants, but it's almost impossible. Um
The soul wants to be joined back to the source, or wants the awareness of the source to be made manifest in this reality. So when you know that you're one with source, your soul is one with the creator energy. That's all the soul wants. It's already happened. It's just awareness that needs to catch up. So I guess you could
yeah,
say it's the awareness that is needed, and the awareness comes from podcasts like this.
thank
So
you.
you can spread the word. Just remember, people have to go through their own journeys, and they will get to that question: what does the soul want? What does my soul want?
Hmm.
How will that look? How will that feel? All that they will get to there. But
Yeah.
there's many different paths, many different directions, but one
Yeah.
destination.
That's why I create this podcast because I feel like like for me, I'm like a very diversified person. Like I don't commit to only one thing. You know what I mean? Like
Mm,
for example, I do meditation. I did meditation for 1 year every single day. That's when my all my knowledge or all the light or the love that I couldn't understand, I understand it when I was meditating and having different experience on the astral realms. But that was not the only thing that helped me. Also helped me to, for example, connect with Mother Earth or doing
mm,
yoga, connecting with my body in a different level. Even like, I don't know, watching videos about tantric and
mm,
all
mm,
these kind of energies that I feel it's a combination of different things that enhance our soul of like our soul knows everything already, but to remember and to go to that soul experience again that we have lost for like many years maybe. I I really appreciate your words. Like I feel you have been in my life one of the persons that took me back to track because I remember the first time I met you, you told me you're a healer. And I told you, and I told you, no, thank you. I don't want to know anything about it. I just want to have a Reiki session because I have never had any Reiki experience or any session of Reiki in my life.
yep.
When I experienced that with you, I had a massive spiritual awakening. I feel like I forgot what my purpose was.
Yeah,
And when I met you, I realized there was more about me that I needed to explore.
yeah.
And you got me back on track, like I said before. So I will be always appreciated
Just
for
the tip
that.
of the iceberg.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
Um,
that's good. I'm glad I can help people.
you're always helping people.
I know.
You're always, even when I go to your Reiki sessions, you always give me avocados or something. So you are just a lovely person in every aspect. And going back to the Reiki, I want to ask you, what is Reiki for you? If you could describe it, a big thing to describe it in your own words and your job for all these years, what it will be for you.
Well, I guess talking about my job, it's really my passion. It's something that I like doing. You need to be careful with that, not to get attached to anything. So I can't say I'm attached to it. If I never did it again, it wouldn't phase me that much. And that's one of the teachings as well of Reiki. There's five principles, as you know. Well, I hope you know. One of them is just for today, don't worry. Just for today, don't be angry. Just for today, have gratitude for everything. Just for today, honor your parents um, and elders. And just for today, what's the fifth one? Come on, this is a question for you.
Oh no.
just for
Um
just for today, I don't know. I've forgotten, but there it is.
yeah.
Those five principles, if you follow them, will lead you to questioning what what your physical and material life is, and what you need to do to be happy, and to get that happiness inside of you rather than relying on outside stuff to be happy. So Reiki is about happiness. It's about peace, feeling honourable, and having respect for all creatures, no matter what. And it's fun.
It
I
is
think
fun.
it's I think it's fun. I love teaching, and it's fun teaching. When I teach, there's always a different way depending on who my students are,
Yeah.
and they always get more than Reiki from me. They get the benefit of my experience, I suppose. What what experiences I've had in the world, and what my
Yeah.
views are.
And I think you also give your friendship to
Oh,
everyone
definitely.
that comes to your life. And I think that's so powerful. I feel that's the way. I was listening the other day to a podcast about healing.
Mm.
And myself, I was going through a process of dismantling my ego one more
Hmm.
time because it has many layers and it's very
Mm,
sneaky.
it's got very, very many holes to hide in, hasn't it?
Exactly. So one of them I feel was the fact that I didn't really understand. Well, I think my ego didn't want to understand that it's not me the one who's doing the healing, and
That's right.
it's actually the energy of source coming through me.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes that ego wants you to be the protagonist of everything. So you need to step back and realize that when you do a healing, or when someone's doing a healing for you, it's not the person, it's actually the energy coming through that person, right?
Mm. And the other thing with healing facilitation, I call it healing facilitation rather than healing, because I'm not doing any healing. It's, as you say, it's just I'm just channeling energy without putting anything on it. Just become a pure channel. But it's also the belief of the person who's on the table. just how much they believe in Reiki. So it comes back to faith,
Exactly.
having faith that this universal love energy will heal them in such a way. But the real healer is the one on the table. They're healing themselves, and they're healing themselves with their intention. Bit of that as well.
Because actually, the other part of the podcast said, actually, the podcast is a channeling, but the other part said that no one can actually heal anyone
No.
because each person needs to facilitate that energy to come through, and actually, that person is doing the healing to facilitate that
Mm.
aspects of themselves to be healed. And yeah, what actually you said is so powerful. Wow, thank you. And I want to ask you because when I have been doing Reiki with you had many different types of doing it.
Well, well, as you know, I teach you the basic positions,
Mm-hmm.
but and then I say use your intuition. Let your intuition tell you where you put your hands, where you put your intention. Like sometimes when I'm healing somebody, I just visualize a big fire hose cleaning out their organs or something like that. So it's about intention as well. Other times I'm just there in a trance, just letting the energy do its work. And sometimes I might stay a half an hour on one position, just letting the energy do its work. But it all depends on how I feel at the time, what my intuition is telling me, and the feelings I'm getting, sort of thing. And you only get that with a lot of practice.
Yeah, that's why I never did any session of Reiki because I didn't feel like I don't know I didn't have the opportunity, but
Mm,
then when I met you, I instantly trust you. Reiki was a part of my life that I didn't want to, I was not ready mentally to do it. I don't know
mm.
why.
Well,
Of the,
a lot of people say that Reiki is witchcraft, and a lot of people in this particular lifetime have been hung and burned as witches. They tend to be a bit scared of it
yeah.
subconsciously.
Yeah, I think I was a little bit scared of it because of I don't know, I feel I was not mentally ready, but I didn't think it was like something bad, but I feel I was not ready to experience it, but as soon as I met you, I instantly trust you because I could feel your energy. I could feel you were not like trying to be something. I feel like you were just being yourself, and I could feel that love energy coming from you. So what actually you do, it's so powerful. It completely changed my life of healing and this
Mm.
energy because I could feel it in my body. Yeah, it's so powerful.
I would just recommend Reiki to anybody just to try, and because it sets them on their path.
Mhm.
If you want to start on your path, start with Reiki, and that'll introduce you to a lot of other things and a lot of other people that you need to meet and absorb knowledge from. Reiki, I use energy medicine, I use Chiron healing, I even use electromagnetic field therapy. I can do some reflexology on your feet. I do massage. It's all for me. It's just healing facilitation, and Reiki is a part of that. It's sort of like one of the arrows in my quiver, so to speak.
Yeah,
And then there's numerology as well, and my counselling.
when you did Reiki to me, like all this type of healing, you did one that maybe was electromagnetic field, that one?
Mm, yeah.
Or I think it was the chakras one. I don't remember. I feel like you have many modalities on your healing,
Mm,
facilitating healing,
yeah.
and it's so nice to start a Reiki course or like something. What will be your recommendation of
Learning.
learning? Yeah, to start learning Reiki.
Oh, I suppose they can. Plenty of advertisements on on the internet about Reiki Masters and that. And if you're in Cairns, see me, of course. Yeah, that doesn't matter. Just get started. You'll find your teacher that suits you.
And do you think it's more about like looking for it, or just let the universe take you to one and
Well,
just trust?
In my case and in your case, the universe just led me to it.
Yeah.
I had no intention of being a Reiki master back in 2001 because I'd never really heard of Reiki before. And how old was I then? I was 53, 53 years old and never heard of Reiki. And people have been doing it for years.
Yeah.
It's been around since the beginning of the century. And before that, Jesus used to do it.
Wow. Yeah, it's true. Well, I think we're gonna finish very soon, so I would
Okay.
just want to ask you questions about your galactic family, because we have been talking about that so much too. Like I
Mm,
always tell you, I'm very related to the Pleiadians because
mm,
I feel
mm,
like their messages really, they always follow me. Also, Archangel Michael and the angelic beings,
mm-hmm,
they all, the angelic beings and the Pleiadians, I feel like their message is very similar, but they have, the Pleiadians channelings are like have a distinguished way to say things, and I feel like the angelic being has a very lovely approach to say things.
mm.
So I feel like I get very related to both, but we always talk about that. So I just want to
Yep.
ask you, like, who do you feel is your galactic family?
Oh, I think the Lyrans,
Galarians.
the lion people, and but I've had a reading that said that I've been a blue avian, I've been a Palladian, I've been a Syrian, I've been lots of starseed incarnations, but at the moment I'm attracted to cats. So Lyran, they're the lion people.
That's so nice. And when I met you, I felt like we were like family,
Hmm.
like,
We did have that connection, didn't we?
yeah, soul family. Like instantly,
Yeah.
I felt like, oh my God. When I read something about the Pleiadians, it's like that. I feel like, oh my God, this is something I can relate it to. And when I met you, it was like, oh my God, I can relate to your energy. It was like I recognized you as my family as soon as I met you. So
It was funny. One person I met who was right into the Palladians and the Syrians as well said that I was Palladian Earth. That was my I don't know what it was. She says I'm a Palladian Earth, and I do like the Palladians. I think they're lovely people, very peaceful, very loving, and they
and
want the best for us.
and well, thank you very much, Jan, for your job, for your life in this earth,
Oh, thank you, Maria.
for who you are, for your kindness and your love and your purpose that enhance many people's life. And I'm very honored to be your friend and to have met you in this life again.
Again, yes.
And also I miss Karen's, you know why? It was very close to be with you, but also I miss spiritual center because I could find all the books that I wanted.
Yes.
I mean, if you will go to a more like spiritual place and you can find all these spiritual books that nobody has or like nobody has talked about because of course they are like spiritual and they are not like bestsellers or maybe some of them, but
Well, some of them were in their day.
yeah, some of them were, but it is the most amazing library um that I could
Mm,
find in my life. And I'm trying to find something like that, and I'm like, oh, I can't find it. It's amazing what you do in like
mm,
everything you do, even the spiritual center, your work as a Reiki master, and your work as a person is so
mm.
powerful. So
Oh,
thank you very much, Yon.
thank you. Thank you, Maria. It's been a pleasure.
Do you want to say some last words or something that you want to say before we finish?
Um, just everybody needs to find peace, and that peace is in themselves. So good luck with that. It's a journey, but it's a worthwhile journey.
Thank you one more time. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And well, I hope I see you soon.
Okay, namaste.
If you like this episode, please give us a follow and write a review. It will help us to grow, and I appreciate it very much. I send you a hug from the soul, and I wish you to find what the soul wants.